Today I am sharing our favorite 5-ingredient casseroles with you. Whether you're a seasoned cook or you're new to the kitchen, these will easily become your new favorite casseroles. They're easy and so delicious. Come along, let's go get to cooking. To kick us off today, we are making this red enchilada casserole. This one is so good and I haven't made it in years and years, but it's a good one. To a bowl, add in 1 can of diced tomatoes with green chilies. Also add in a pound of cooked shredded chicken. I'm just using part of like a rotisserie chicken that I found like in the clearance section of my Walmart, but you know, use any type of cooked shredded chicken. I have some corn tortillas right here. I'm using about 10 of them. I'm just going to cut the corn tortillas into smaller pieces just like this. This is like such an easy way to make enchiladas. You don't have to like roll up the tortillas. It's just such a simple recipe. Grab an 8x8 baking dish, spray it with nonstick spray, then add about 1/4 to 1/3 cup of red enchilada sauce to the bottom, or you could use green enchilada sauce. Then you're going to add some of those corn tortilla strips, followed by a little bit of that chicken and then some cheese, and then you're going to add more enchilada sauce. This makes for 3 layers total. Also, I do want to say thank you to you guys for being here today. I really appreciate your support, you know, watching my videos. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here. Go ahead and cover this with foil. Bake this in a preheated oven to 375 degrees for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, remove the foil and bake it for an additional 25 minutes. Top this with anything you have on hand. We topped ours with a little bit of shredded lettuce, avocado, lime, sour cream, and tomato. This casserole is so delicious. It's definitely a good one. You could also add like beans, like black beans, pinto beans in this casserole, or you could add like corn. You could really make it your own easily. Now we are making this ravioli bake. This one is a meatless meal, so it's for my meatless meal friends. I have a 9x13 baking dish right here. I sprayed it with nonstick spray. Then I added about 1/2 cup of marinara sauce to the bottom. I am also adding a little bit of fresh spinach to the bottom that I chopped up, or you could use sauteed spinach, but since I just didn't want to, you know, saute spinach on this particular night, I'm just using some chopped fresh spinach. Either way will work. You could saute your spinach in a pan on the stove with a little oil and salt and pepper, and you know, like I said, either way will do. I'm just using fresh for tonight just for the convenience factor. Just add some ravioli over the top, and then you're going to sprinkle some Parmesan and mozzarella cheese. This makes for 3 layers total, and then at the very top you're going to add, you know, extra mozzarella and Parmesan cheese. This will bake in a preheated oven to 400 degrees, covered with foil for about 30 minutes, and then you are going to uncover it and bake it for an additional 10 minutes. I've actually made a few variations of this ravioli casserole in the past. I've made it with like summer veggies, you know, corn, some squash. I've made it with sausage in the past. You can make this however you'd like. I've also made this in the slow cooker. This one is an easy one. You could add veggies to this, you know, take ingredients away, add ingredients, but my little ones just love it. Now we're getting started on this Hashbrown hamburger casserole, and this one is just comfort food to the max. I made it years and years ago. Can't believe I haven't made it since. It's just a good one. But to a pan on the stove, add a pound of ground beef, break it up and cook it through. Now remove any excess grease from your pan. You could always use ground turkey, ground chicken, or any meat substitute for this recipe. Now add in your salt, so 1/2 teaspoon of that, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of onion and garlic powder, and you're going to give this a good stir. I do want to let you know this recipe is simple, but it really is delicious. You could always add like mixed vegetables to this if you want to throw in veggies, you know, just into this recipe. But into a big bowl, add in 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. Then add in 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese, followed by 1 cup of milk. Then you're going to add in 1/3 cup of melted butter and give this a stir. Like I mentioned before, if you want to add in mixed vegetables, just add about 1 cup or 2 cups cups of frozen or canned mixed vegetables in now, and then just, stir it well, and then you're going to pull out your hash browns. You want to use about 20 ounces of shredded hash browns. Add your hash browns in, and then season this with a dash more salt and pepper, and then, give it a good stir. Let those hash browns get coated in the sauce. Pull out a large baking dish, spray it with nonstick spray, then you're going to add the ground beef to the bottom of the baking dish. Over the top of that, you're going to add that hash brown mixture. After you're finished spreading the hash brown mixture out, you're going to sprinkle the top with a cup more cheddar cheese. This will bake in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 55 minutes. Your house will be smelling so cozy once this is through baking. This is just a total comfort food, delicious casserole. You just have to make it once this fall and winter. You will absolutely love it. This is one of my kids' favorite dinners, like ever. They told me I need to make it more often because it's one of their favorites. Anyway, it's just super delicious. I did serve this alongside a side salad. The side salad I did, it was just like a little salad kit. They sell for about $2 at the store. It's just this Green Goddess ranch kit. I find it to be good and pretty affordable. Now we're getting started on this Fiesta chicken casserole. Into a big bowl, add in 1 cup of uncooked instant white rice, add in a can of drained and rinsed black beans, or really any beans, a drained can of corn. If you don't care for corn, you don't have to add the corn in. Then a can of diced tomatoes with green chilies, a half a cup of Mexican style cheese, 4 cups of cooked shredded chicken, any type of cooked shredded chicken will do, 3 tablespoons of milk, 2 tablespoons of taco seasoning, 1 can of cream of chicken soup. You know what? This recipe has more than 5 ingredients, but honestly, it is just such a good recipe. I had to share it with you, I just couldn't keep it from you. Anyway, this recipe is in my cookbook and it is on page 63. So if you have my first ever cookbook, turn to page 63. You need to try this recipe out. Also, I do still have some cookbooks available if you don't have my first cookbook yet, but just give this a super duper good stir and then pull out a large baking dish. Spray the baking dish with nonstick spray and then add your casserole right in there. Over the top, sprinkle it with a cup of Mexican style cheese. Then you're going to cover this with foil, bake it in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, remove the foil and bake it for an additional 10 minutes. Okay, while I have you here, I have some super exciting news I've been dying to share with you. For over a year now, I have been quietly working on my second cookbook and it is finally ready. This one is full of super simple, minimal ingredient dump and go recipes, and honestly, it's the most creative, unique cookbook I have ever made or seen in my whole life. So to celebrate, I will be cooking live on here, giving away some, kitchen appliances and just having fun with you guys. So mark your calendars for November 1st, and I will share more details super soon. This is one of my go-to back pocket casseroles. That's at least what I like to call it whenever I have people coming over or I need to make a meal for someone. This is just one of my go-to casseroles. It's easy to make, a total crowd pleaser, and then you could top it with anything that you have on hand or that you like. We topped ours with lettuce, avocado, sour cream, and lime. This one is definitely good. You have to try it. Now we're getting started on this chicken Parmesan casserole, so grab a 9x13 baking dish, spray it with nonstick spray. This one's also a dump and go casserole, so it is just easy and delicious. Dump your 12 ounces of penne pasta into your baking dish, or you could use bow tie pasta or really any shaped pasta. Then add in 3 cups of pasta sauce or, 1 jar of pasta sauce or a can of pasta sauce. Season it with salt, Italian seasoning, and pepper. After you season it with your seasonings, you're going to add in 3 cups of water. I just added water into the jar of pasta sauce and gave it a little shake, to get out any excess pasta sauce in my jar. Now I'm adding in my 1 pound of cubed chicken. This is uncooked chicken. Yes, you want to make sure you use uncooked chicken for this recipe. Give it a stir, cover it with foil, bake it on 400 degrees for 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, give it a little stir, remove the foil, and then you're going to sprinkle on 1 cup of mozzarella cheese, a third a cup of Parmesan cheese, and 1 cup of panko breadcrumbs. Just sprinkle that over the top. My favorite are the Italian style panko breadcrumbs, but the plain will also work. Either way, but bake this for 15 more minutes and you will get a delicious easy chicken Parmesan casserole. The topping is one of my favorite parts, that like crunchy panko with the cheese. This one is phenomenal. If you haven't tried this casserole yet, please do. I think you'll like it. And then I did serve this alongside a Caesar salad. I have just been loving Caesar salad recently. I kind of forgot how good it really is. Anyway, I served it with Caesar salad. I created this oat berry cobbler a couple years ago at this time of year, so every year at this time of year I crave it and I can't keep it from you. So we're making this oat berry cobbler that is just delicious. To a 9x13 baking dish, add your 40 ounces of mixed berries. I don't recommend frozen strawberries though. I found that those don't work as well for this recipe. Then add on about 1/4 cup of quick oats, a tablespoon of brown sugar, then add on 1 box of French vanilla cake mix. Just sprinkle it over the top and then kind of spread that cake mix out. Over the top of the cake mix, you're going to add 1/4 cup more quick oats. Over the top of the quick oats, you're going to add a tablespoon more brown sugar. This is just what really elevates this recipe. Then over the top of that, you're going to add about 3/4 cup to a cup of thin sliced butter. With dumped desserts with cake mix, kind of like this recipe, you want to make sure you spread that butter out super thin and you cut it pretty thin just so it gets all over the top of that cake mix. Otherwise, the cake mix is going to come out kind of like floury and dry. It kind of, won't cook as well. So make sure you cut that butter thin, put it all over the top of the cake mix. That way the cake mix will set up and it won't, just be dry in the end. But this baked on a preheated oven to 350 degrees for 45 minutes. Your guests will think you spent hours and hours trying to make this. This is one of my favorite desserts ever. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video like this. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.